Hello, everybody. I am really sorry we're starting late today. Zoom was not working for me. I don't know if you've been having problems with it, but it's been poo lately. So anyway, that's boring. I won't go into it. I'm Kristin Mueller-Heaslip. Welcome to This Is a Talk Show. We will be joined later by Rob Watson and Lindsay Mullan, our fabulous guests, and also my co-host Adam Bailey. So, as I get ready for my first song, I'm going to give you a small peek behind the curtain. I don't know if you've noticed this so far. When Adam and I are doing this show, part of what we're doing is we are sharing our pet obsessions, maybe is the right word, our things that we like. So in Adam's case, that's a humorous take on political news, and in my case, that is depressing French music. Everyone's favorite kind. So I'm going to sing for you to start off today a song by my favorite composer, Francis Poulenc. It is based on a poem by Guillaume Apollinaire, probably my favorite French surrealist poet, because we've all got one, right? And there's usually when I sing one of these songs, I say, it says it's about seagulls, but it's really about sex. But this one is not. It's just like a really sad song. So this is Voyage. Adieu, amour, nuage qui fuit, inaperçu, puis féconde, refait le voyage de Dante. Télégraphe, oiseau qui laisse tomber ses ailes partout. Où va donc ce train qui me renvoie dans les vols et les beaux bois frais du tendrité si pâle, la douce nuit lunaire et pleine d'étoiles. C'est ton visage que je ne vois plus. And on that note, please welcome your host, Adam Bailey, who probably has something much more cheerful to talk about.
Hello. Well, thank you, Kristin. That was lovely. And welcome everybody to This Is a Talk Show. And I love that lead-in about obsessions because I planned today's monologue around one of my favorite obsessions, the Oscars. It is Oscar season, everybody. We're getting into it. All of the pretentious prestige movies are being set up. They're coming out. There's a huge slate this year. It's amazing how many different movies are coming out. And I love, my summer, I'm all into Marvel. My October, I'm all into horror. But October is gone. We are now into prestige filmmaking. And one of the big players in this year's Oscars is Licorice Pizza, which is made by Paul Thomas Anderson. And a lot of people are really excited that this might actually be the movie that lands Paul Thomas Anderson his first Best Director Oscar, which a lot of people are really excited about. If you don't know who P.T. Anderson is, he is the Gen X auteur who made the famous movie Boogie Nights. Way back in the 90s, this movie is a cult classic. Everybody likes Boogie Nights. Everybody loves Dirk Diggler. And this movie is just insane. And a lot of people might be surprised to know that he's kept on making movies. If you're a movie buff, then you know, of course, that he made The Master, and he made There Will Be Blood, and he made Punch Drunk Love. But this is the one that most people know him by. But more important than Boogie Nights, he is also the significant other to one Maya Rudolph. That's right. Paul Thomas Anderson and Maya Rudolph are a Hollywood power couple. And I just love this coupling, at least in theory, because I found out that they were a couple in a really weird way. You see, a couple years back, when Paul Thomas Anderson directed and released Phantom Thread, he revealed that this very dark romance about narcissistic and egomaniacal genius artist who falls in love with a woman who is a near match in toxicity for him. He revealed that this movie was inspired by his own relationship with his wife. And it was only after he revealed that I found out that his wife is, in fact, Maya Rudolph. So while I love the idea of SNL alumni and Bridesmaid star Maya Rudolph being the Mrs. to Paul Thomas Anderson's Mr., I also want to just check in and make sure, are the two of you okay? Because we love you both, but I just want to make sure that everything is okay in your little love story. But outside of Paul Thomas Anderson, even Oscar movies can get a little repetitious and start copycatting each other. I know we're used to seeing that in Marvel films, where every introductory story to a new superhero is basically the Jesus story. And we're used to that with horror films, where every slasher just gets to have a repeat sequel. But it happens a little bit with Oscar movies too. For instance, last year, Aaron Sorkin released The Trial of the Chicago 7. Now, this was a movie based on a high publicity trial that happened in the 70s. And in it, Frank Langella played this chilling role of an out-of-touch, racist, and authoritarian judge who derails the trial and keeps any sense of justice actually happening. And it was a real performance that just people fell in love with. And I hate to say it, he's being copied this year by Judge Bruce Schroeder. Now, if you don't know who Drew Schroeder is, he's seen here orchestrating his own mistrial. He is the judge who's in charge of the Kyle Rittenhouse case down in the States. Kyle Rittenhouse, of course, is that teenage boy who crossed state lines and went into a city that he did not live in with a gun that he did not have the legal right to own during a George Floyd protest, and started shooting at protesters, injuring several protesters and killing 2 people. Now this judge, copying Frank Langella's Oscar-nominated performance, this judge is also out of touch, racist, and authoritarian. And during this trial, he's refused to allow the prosecutor to call the people who were shot by Kyle Rittenhouse victims, but he was letting the protesters be called by the defense looters and arsonists. And he's gone even further and made several racist jokes from the bench, including some jokes that have the Asian Anti-Defamation League right up his butt. I really think that he needs to step aside and let the actors take on these roles and leave them to the historic dramas, because we don't need to have this piece of our history repeat itself again and again. But he's not the only right-winger who is jumping into entertainment news. No, the senator from Texas, Ted Cruz, made news this week, and he made it by starting a Twitter war with no one else less than Big Bird himself. That's right. Ted Cruz and Big Bird are in a Twitter war, because every news headline past 2020 is just a string of absurdities stuck together. Big Bird tweeted this weekend that he got his COVID-19 shot. On the show Sesame Street, the character of Big Bird is supposed to be 6 years old, and the US has just allowed COVID shots to be taken by people 5 years old and up. And so Big Bird was very excited to get his COVID-19 shot, and Ted Cruz went after Big Bird for spreading government propaganda, even though Ted Cruz is a member of the government and has the COVID-19 shot himself. What a fucking putz. But that's not the only thing Ted Cruz did this week. Ted Cruz also made news by suggesting that the grand old state of Texas should secede and become its own country, taking NASA and the military with them. Now, the weirdest part of the story isn't that Ted Cruz suggested that Texas should secede. It's actually the only state in the United States of America that has the right to secede. it's that in his internal fantasy of this happening, the person who would become president of Texas would be Joe Rogan, seen here on British television getting a goose. Ted Cruz. Joe Rogan is a very odd choice for president of Texas from a senator who also ran for president of the United States of America. I mean, I really want to talk to you about your internal fantasy life, which I did not think I'd want to say, but if you run for president, then in your fantasy world where someone else gets to be president, that someone else should probably be you and not someone on a talk radio show who encouraged Aaron Rodgers to not get his vaccine shot and ruin the chances of the Green Bay Packers going to the Super Bowl. But let's end this entertainment report on a little bit of bright news. That's right. 2 nights ago, Britney Spears finally became free from her conservatorship. You can see her celebrating here, and I want to celebrate with a huge Britney Spears fan, no one less than Kristin Mueller-Heaslip. Kristin.
Woo, free Britney. I don't think I'd call myself a huge Britney Spears fan, but I will play one for this show if necessary.
You are a huge fan of whatever music I've decided that you are a huge fan of, Kristin.
Yeah, exactly.
I told you you were a fan of Celine Dion, and then it actually came to fruition.
It actually happened. Yeah, you made me learn a bunch of Celine Dion songs, and now I actually appreciate the artistry and grace of one, the something that starts with a C from Charlemagne, Quebec. So yes, excellent, Britney. But thing is, I don't know, Adam, I'm a few years younger than you, right? Or we're close in age. So when I was a young girl, I am 1 year older than Britney Spears for the fans out there. Britney was very huge, but she was also this like, because of her image of being kind of like a young, like her sexy image, it was like, oh, you don't want to be like Britney Spears. It was, if you were a cool person, you didn't want to be like Britney Spears because she was too popular. And if you were a prudish sort of person, you wouldn't want to be like Britney Spears because she was too sexual, right? And so, which is a lot for one young person to bear. That's 16-year-old Britney Spears. So, you know, I'm here. I want to say, I'm sorry, Britney. I wasn't very nice to you when I was 17 years old, mostly because I was jealous of your music career. So I'm glad that Britney is now out of the cage and can live her own life.
Well, and Britney Spears, like she actually represents a lot of people who have, different mental health issues, different spectrum disorders, or people who are just non-neurotypical, often can find themselves in conservatorships. And sometimes maybe that's something that needs to happen, but a lot of times they're not necessarily set up in a way that's fair. So she actually is a spokesperson for a large segment of society. There's a lot of people in the ability communities really talking about this right now too. So it seems like fluffy pop news, but it's actually a really serious thing that this is a grown-ass woman who is, how old is she now? Like in her late 30s, in her early 40s?
She'd be 40 or turning 40. She'd be 40-ish. So she is, yes, and someone who is a highly successful in their field, a high top performer, and able to handle doing a show in Vegas every night. I think she can handle her own affairs, right? Yeah,
and being forced to, like her father, who ran her conservatorship, forced her to do that show in Vegas every single night. So that's really, it's so super screwed up. But I'm really glad that she finally got free of this. And realistically, the mental health issue that got her into the conservatorship was she did a bunch of drugs in her 20s. And I don't know what I can admit on YouTube, but like, come on, like if everyone who did a bunch of drugs in their 20s had to go into a conservatorship, that would be everyone.
And after being, an extremely stressful, a lot of life circumstances of being a child star and being a teen star and then getting married and having children really young and then getting divorced and like all of the shit that happened to her would make anyone a bit crazy. So,
And I think she's handled it better than a lot of other people. Like you see, obviously with Michael Jackson, Macaulay Culkin, like people who are child stars do not usually fare that well. And Britney has come out of this like really well. And a lot of people are saying it's her fans that got her free, and her fans certainly helped with that. But some of the news that's coming out of this is how much of that fan push was orchestrated by Britney Spears herself, because she is a woman with agency who was able to do this. So I'm really excited for Britney.
All right, well, road trip to Vegas or wherever her residency is. Hopefully,
I don't think she's performing anymore after this.
She's taking a break. Well, good for you, Britney.
I think I would, like, if I was being forced to perform against my will, like if it like you know, sometimes it feels that way because my ego is forcing me to perform against my will. But my ego is still part of me. If I was being forced by someone else to perform against my will and I got my freedom, I might not keep doing the same thing. I might take a vacation.
Yeah, you might retool your content, try something new. You know, you might just like, you know, go somewhere for a while and relax and not worry about being on it for
Britney's
8 shows a week or whatever they make her do.
Poetry.
I want to see that so bad. Oh my God. Yes. Oh my God. Yeah.
Oh my goodness. Right. Anything else happening with you, Kristin? Any predictions? Anything else you need to say? I know what you want to say.
What do I want to say?
You want to talk about coffee.
I want to talk about coffee. Why do I want to talk about coffee? Do I need
because
to get coffee in my low energy? Oh, yes, of course. Yes, buy us a coffee. And someone did buy us a coffee. I will be seeing their name later on in the show. So thank you to our donor, whose name I've forgotten and have to look up because I didn't write it down anywhere accessible to me at the moment. But yes, you can buy a coffee for This Is a Talk Show at ko-fi.com/thisisAtalkshow. And I promise I will read your name on air. And you can put anything in that box. You can put, I don't know, wash your hair, Kristin, or Adam is a dope, or whatever, you know, like whatever you want to put, as long as it's not like, you know, then please
put that in your box. I think you already crossed the line by saying you could put anything in the box, but that's all. I mean, they already say smash that subscribe button when it comes to YouTube videos, and smashing also means something very explicit. So smash that subscribe button if you enjoy our content. Click like.
Clean your keyboard afterwards.
Ring the bell. There's too many things that you can do with YouTube to show that you like something. Ring the bell. Smash subscribe. Click on like. Speaking of things
the bell is for notifications, so you will always know when we're on air. That's what that bell does. I know that much. And yeah, smash like, subscribe, notify, do it all. Okay.
Well, you know who can do it all?
Who can do it all?
Our next guest, Lindsay Mullan.
All
so
right.
let's invite a woman to the screen who can do it all. Lindsay Mullan. How are you doing today, Lindsay?
Well, I mean, what an introduction. I can do it all. I love that.
You can do it all. The last time I saw you on stage was right before COVID started. It was a show in January. It was at Next Stage here in Toronto, which is a sort of fringe festival event. I mean, it's run by the Fringe, but it's not a fringe. It's just a regular
best of fringe shows. They're like, yeah.
And you did a show that was like a dance, burlesque, variety,
sketch
serious
comedy,
drama with like actual grit and heart in it. So you can do it all.
Yeah, well, thank you. It's my show Tease, which is essentially a strip show with a heart of gold. I wanted to make a show that was similar to a Second City sketch show, but what if everyone lost their clothes at certain points in the show? So that was kind of my idea. That was the idea. I'm like, what if it was burlesque that was actually funny? I know, shots fired, but every time I go to a burlesque show, I'm like, this isn't that funny to me. So
you've never seen one of my burlesque shows, Lindsay. I take that straight away. I'm like, when I did burlesque, we were the Toronto Star said that we were Pepsi to Sacha Van Bonbon's Coke, except where hers was very, very serious and artistic. Ours was the silly, funny one. So
but you're funny, so that makes sense.
It does make. I try to be funny. I try. You know, it's a thing I try and do. Speaking of trying to be funny, you're trying to be funny. Well, not trying. You're succeeding on a CBC podcast right now.
Yes, I was, because there's a CBC podcast coming out, and it's got they asked me to be in one of the episodes as like a lead in it, and it's got a real Black Mirror vibe, and it's called Limited Capacity, and it comes out on November 18th in just a few days, and it's a CBC podcast, and you should look it up.
I am going to look it up because I need a new podcast. I'm a huge podcast listener.
Yeah, it was really cool to make because it was all improvisers. But the thing is that the guy running it, he kind of like, it felt very immersive. Like we would do it step by step. I'd have to go on like an improvised date with someone and I wouldn't have all the information. And so stuff was being revealed to me as we were doing it that I kind of felt like I was, who's that person in The Shining? The lady, the main lady in The Shining? Shelley Duvall.
Yeah, Duvall.
Yeah.
Shelley Duvall.
She had a I had a lovely experience, but it was so immersive that I honestly, I didn't know where the acting began and where me actually just experiencing stuff ended. You know, it was a very deeply emotional thing. It's not so much even though it's improv, it's not so much comedy. It's like Black Mirror. So if you want something sci-fi and a little spooky, but with that improv element where the actors are actually being shocked by what's happening as the story is going, like real reactions. It's really fascinating.
Oh, neat. I mean, yeah, improv doesn't always need to be funny. One of my favorite movies, Secrets and Lies, famously is an improvised movie, but it's not funny. It's a drama about someone finding like lost relatives that they had they were adopted, and their adoption becomes open when they're an adult, and so they find out who all their family is, and it's a British film, and it's improvised. So that's one that I saw as a teenager. It's an early mid 90s movie, but I certainly, from watching that, I learned that improv doesn't need to be funny, and not just because the people on stage are bad, but because you're actually trying to do something that's not funny.
Right. This has some humor to it. The person said to me that made it that it was humor in the way a New Yorker cartoon is funny. So it's a humorist type humor, but like it really is sci-fi. Like it was kind of spooky being a part of it. I can't explain it more than that. So November 18th, limited capacity. CBC podcast.
Limited capacity. When I hear that, I just think I have to get my tickets now because it's limited. Because that's what everything is right now with COVID. I'm like, it's limited capacity. How did your show sell out in 3 minutes? Like, well, we had 20 seats in this 100-seat theater that we were allowed to sell, so it sold out. I've missed a couple of things because of that. That's fantastic. So you got cast as the lead, you just said.
Well, just no, it's like an anthology like Black Mirror where every episode is different. And for the episode I'm featured in, I'm like the main character, but it was crazy because he gave me no information. I said, do you want me to know anything? They're like, nope, just be yourself on a date. And I went, okay. And then I had like an improvised date with someone else, and I would just get little directions. Like, in the next 5 minutes, I want you to try and get him to say that you're pretty, but don't make it obvious. Like, what would you do on a date if you wanted to get someone to tell you you were pretty? And so like, I've done that on dates. I'm shameless. I do try and get people to tell me I'm pretty without being too obvious. So,
Lindsay, you're gorgeous. Pretty's too slight for what you are, Lindsay.
Oh, wow. Oh my
You're
God.
magnificent. What, that red dress, those shoulders, that neck, you give Audrey Hepburn a run for her money.
My God, this might be my fastest time yet to get someone. Thank you.
I know how to yes and, right? Like, I also have this training, so I can. You want pretty? I'll give you the pretty compliment. That's amazing.
That was one of the examples. But there were lots of like also kind of sneakier things to try and get out of the other person on a date, and it is a bit of a choose your own adventure while I was in it. It was pretty wild. You should listen to it. I'm excited.
I'm absolutely going to listen to it. It has so many things I like in it. Black Mirror style science fiction. It has Secrets and Lies style improv. It has Lindsay Mullan, who is a fantastic performer. I'm here for
who
this.
We're told is pretty.
Who apparently is pretty. So this is going to be it's a podcast. So it's a CBC podcast. Now, do I need to have a CBC app to listen to this, or is it going to be on
this is I think just look it up on Apple Podcasts. Yeah.
So Apple, Stitcher, Spotify.
Yeah, I think it's on all that stuff. I'm being a terrible promo queen right now, but it's out there. It's for sure out there.
That's fantastic. Well, you know what's fun? I think it would be fun for an improver to do is that we do a news roundup on our show every week, and I think that it would be a fun thing for you to stick around and do with us. Would you like to do this?
I would love to. So
yes, of course.
Do I just keep my camera on, or should I turn it off and wait for my call?
Well, you might have to turn it off because we do have another guest coming up to do a little bit of stand-up comedy for us. I know that you are very funny, but this man is also very funny, and I don't think you've had a chance to see him perform yet. So everyone, why don't we put our hands together for the fabulous returning guest, friend of the show, Robert Watson.
Oh my God, hello. Oh my God. Lindsay, turn off your camera.
Later, bye. Okay.
It's my turn now. It's my turn. That's lovely to watch you and learn more about you, Lindsay. Hi, I'm Robert Watson. I'm just gonna say I am tired today. Thanks, Adam, for having me on the show. I am tired. I stayed up last night to see like a show at Comedy Bar at like midnight, and my body doesn't do that anymore very well. So I've been tired all day. But I do have my energy drink here. Speaking of coffee, I got my energy drink, my rock star drink. And by the way, owners of this, they don't hate the gays anymore. It's okay to drink this one. So I'm just gonna have a little sip of this first. And today I am a sit-down comedian, not a stand-up comedian. But okay, give me just a second. Oh, I think I can do it now. Oh my God! Speaking of energy, though, have you heard this saying that's made popular by Liz, like big dick energy? You heard about this? People are still saying this and talking about it 2 years later. I'll admit, I have more of a medium dick energy. I'm totally okay with that. I'm totally fine, perfectly happy with the size of my energy. Like, why lie? Why lie, right? I mean, I'm the kind of guy, I go into McDonald's and I'm just like the guy who orders, like medium drink, medium fries, medium dick energy, whenever I see someone like come in and like order a Big Mac, I'm like, ooh, look at you hungry slut. Oh my God. By the way, some guys, this is FYI, some guys actually nickname their penises after burgers. Can you believe that? Like Big Mac, Whopper, quarter pounder with cheese. Like, whoa, wait, with cheese? That doesn't sound very appetizing. Yeah, clean that up. Of course, then Wendy's, they have the Baconator. And of course, now that guy's not going to be Jewish, right? And then A&W, they have a whole burger family. Yes, I'm still talking about burgers. It's A&W, the whole burger family. They got Baby Burger, Teen Burger, Mama Burger, Papa Burger, Grandpa Burger. They have Grandpa Burger, but they don't have Grandma Burger. So have fun explaining that to your kids, huh? It's like, where's Grandma? Well, son, somebody ate her. Yeah. So, and once I was in an A&W and I saw a 40-year-old man come in there and I saw him order 2 baby burgers. I immediately called the police. Yeah, that's sick pervert. I mean, doesn't even go for the teens, goes straight for the baby burgers. Put that guy in jail. Oh my God. What else I want to talk about? Of course, I mean, you can see Christmas is coming. It's after Remembrance Day, so we can talk about it now. And I love Christmas, but the one thing I don't like is I have to know. I'm trying to get my husband a gift. It's so difficult. So because I don't know. I don't know what he wants. So one year I just asked him. I just said, "Look, tell me what you want for Christmas. Tell me what you want. I'll get it. I'll get it. Tell me what you want for Christmas." His answer: a prostitute. I'm shocking. I'll admit I was quite offended because, I mean, do you know how much a prostitute costs on Christmas Day? Oh my God, it's like Uber surge pricing, and I can't afford that. I can't. I know that there's going to be someone out there watching that's going to be like, well, wait, you're married. What do you need a prostitute for? So, yeah, okay. Well, my husband and I, we've been married for 10 years. And when you've been together that long, getting a prostitute, it's just like getting a cleaning lady. Sometimes you just want to pay someone to do the hard work. Someone to get down on their knees, get into those nooks and crannies that haven't been touched in years. Yeah, but I still can't afford Christmas Day prices. So we made a compromise. And that year, instead of getting a prostitute for Christmas, I got him a prostitute for Boxing Day. Yeah. And it was such a great deal. It was buy one, get one free. So Merry Christmas to me that year. Oh my gosh, I need another sip of energy drink. Adam, come on back. I can't do this without you anymore. Where are you?
That's amazing. Oh my goodness. Rob, this is I have some news for you that might freak you out because of the Christmas thing. There was an earthquake in Santa's village in northern Finland.
Oh, not again.
Not again.
Not
I
again.
don't know if it happens that frequently, but I do know there's supply chain issues this year already, and so this is just going to jam things up even more.
Oh man, I gotta say, the whole supply chain thing. I got a niece and nephew. Like, they're good kids, but they're still getting coal this year. We can't find what they want. So
What are you trying to do? Get in Joe Manchin's good book? Cole after while the summit's happening in
Oh yeah,
Scotland?
okay. They're getting wind turbines for Christmas then.
That's the right Christmas present,
There
right?
you go. Solar panels.
Here's your stocks in green energy, everybody. This is your stocks in green energy. Here's your stocks in green energy.
If I can't afford a prostitute, I can't afford a green energy stock either.
Oh, that's it. I bought one of Jonathan's Christmas presents, but I'm so excited, but I can't say what it is.
You can't because he watches this.
He watches this. I know. I'm
right now, or does he watch later? What does he do?
He's in the other room watching it right now. There's like a 2-minute delay, and I can hear the
Hi,
jokes.
Jonathan.
Right. Hi, Jonathan. I have your Christmas present for you. Oh, that's fantastic. Rob, you have other treats for us, though. You have something coming up in Toronto for people who want to see something live and local, don't you?
I do. I have two things to talk about actually, because the first one, the one that we were talking about before I was on the show. So I've was lucky enough with my brand of comedy, Gay AF Comedy, to have a production that Buddies is supporting, Buddies in Bad Times Theater. So I have a great new show that's coming out there, and hopefully it's going to become a monthly maybe at Buddies as well. It's called Homo Say What?
What?
Homo Say What? That's it. Remember being a kid and someone would go like, hey, homo say what? And you'd say what? And they go, oh, you're a homo. You said what? I'm taking that and turning it on its ear, because after you listen to some of the comedians on this show, you will be going, homo said what? So it's a great show. But like you were talking about limited capacity, that show is sold out for in-person tickets. But the great thing about what Buddies is doing, it's part of their program called Queer Far, wherever you are, and they will be streaming that show live. So here's the info. It's happening November 25th at 8 p.m. Go to the Buddies website. You can get free or pay what you can tickets to watch it, and you can watch it from the comfort of your own home. It's ridiculous. They told me it's going to be like a 3-camera shoot. So it's not like, it's going to be like this, like just almost like Netflix, I'm saying, kind of thing. So tune into that from your home. So it's free if you want it to be, or you can throw a bit of money that'll go to the comedians. That'd be great too.
It's free. So wait, we have free comedy. For actually, both of your things today are free. This is free comedy for the masses.
I'd love to give the comedians some money for doing this. So if you do have the wherewithal to tip, you can go in. But tickets are free if you want them to be, though. So go to the Buddies and Bad Times website. They have the streaming tickets that you can get, and they're pay what you can. Like, throw us $1 if you want. I don't mind.
Well, yeah, people should have, but I know that not everyone, people are watching a free show on YouTube. Not everyone can afford things, so that's actually probably a great,
including financial accessibility. But I have a sec. Can I just plug my second show then really quickly, and I'll be on my way. So it's back, everyone. Gay AF Christmas Spectacular had to take last year off because of the pandemic, but it is back this year at Comedy Bar on December 8th at 8 p.m. And it is always a ruckus night. We have Sexy Santa giving away gifts. I haven't found the Sexy Santa yet, but we will. And some amazing comedians on that show as well, including, there'll be drag, musical comedy, just a lot of fun. And that one, tickets aren't sold out for that one yet. But you can find everything by just go to my Instagram, Gay AF Comedy, and go to the links there, because it has links to everything. There you go. I'm done plugging. I'm unplugged now.
Rob Watson, unplugged. Actually, we do want you unplugged because we have the news coming up right after this. So do you want to stick around and give us your unplugged opinions on the news?
Okay. I just have to make a phone call and cancel with Chris Hemsworth. But yeah, I'm gonna come to that.
Fantastic. Okay, well, you get to canceling on Chris Hemsworth. I'm going to invite Kristin, Mueller-Heaslip, and Lindsay Mullan back to the screen, and we are going to do the news, everybody.
Before we get started with the news, I'm just going to remind you that you can buy This Is a Talk Show, a coffee at co-v.com. And thank you, Steph C. I looked it up for your generous gift of a coffee. And Steph C says, great and informative. Nice to see you back. You see, I give you people a chance to say something weird and gross and stupid on the air, and you're just super nice. So come on. step up your game, but thank you very much, Stefsy. So yes, now it is time for, this is a news segment.
Nice.
All right, this is a news segment. I gave it a musical sting today. All right, first story. Premier Scott Moe wants Saskatchewan to have nationhood status. Yes, it is as bizarre as it sounds. So if you read this article, it's actually not as bizarre as it sounds. He is talking about a sort of devolved status of something like Scotland has within the UK, which is kind of silly to request for Saskatchewan, but I guess one could make a case for it. But for the purpose of this episode, let's pretend that he's asking for Saskatchewan to secede fully from Canada as a nation and be an independent, prairie, landlocked, extremely dry, resource poor independent state. Because I think that would be funnier.
Because he has to argue that he has to argue that Saskatchewan is a unique enough culture within the rest of Canada that nothing else is like Saskatchewan. They're arguing for the same thing as Quebec.
Yeah. So thoughts on the independent nation of Saskatchewan?
I'm just gonna say that I feel like them wanting to do this is like a thing when we all go, oh no, don't go. Like I feel like they want us all to wait, no, no, but we're so proud that you're a part of us. Oh shoot. I feel like that's kind of the collective reaction. Also, I thought Alberta and Quebec were the only ones that were like, we do our own thing. But I guess Saskatchewan wants a little bit of the limelight.
Well, to be fair, this is not something that the rest of the province has spoken up on. This is Premier Moe, which is also a terrible name for a premier. But Premier Moe is like, I think Saskatchewan should be its own separate thing. And everyone in Saskatchewan is also going, what?
No.
Well, you see, here in Quebec, people gave up on trying to actually separate, and then they just act as if they had, right? The premier is called the prime minister in French. The provincial parliament is called the Assemblée Nationale. It's just like we just pretend that Quebec is a different country, and that actually works pretty well. So
that's so French. I love that.
Yeah.
It's a bold flex for Premier Moe, though. You know, like he literally lives in the squarest province. And and he's like making these daring proclamations about separation. Like imagine just that sliver of Saskatchewan just missing from our country. I mean missing, that's a relative term, but I mean good for him. I don't know the last time I met a person from Saskatchewan, so I don't know how much I'd miss it, but I mean go ahead if you want. I mean have a vote, do the democratic thing and have a vote, see if y'all want to leave, and if y'all want to leave,
Saskatoon is a lovely city, and they have this beautiful little hotel in the center of the city that kind of looks like a castle. So I can imagine that if you were like, in Saskatoon, you could feel like you were in your own fairy tale land. But it's also it is the most stereotypically Canadian place I've been. It is the place where everyone says sorry and please all the time. Like everyone is very kind and apologetic and super polite. It's a really nice place. Everyone like it is the land of the Canadian stereotypical person. Like in Toronto, we say, get out of my way. In Toronto, we look at our phones and hope that no one pays attention to us. In Saskatoon, everyone's like, hi, random strangers talk to you on the street. It's the most, it's not that kind of distinctiveness. And they have a berry named after them.
They are the true Canada.
I guess we all just have to separate from them, and that will solve the problem. All right, moving on to our science segment. News from space. So we got some great stories in News from Space today. First up, Spacex Toilets still broken. Astronauts will have to pee themselves. Astronauts will have to rely on their undergarment. This is some kind of NASA/Elon Musk collaboration, and apparently the toilets don't work. So those lucky astronauts will have to, as it says in the article, diapers deployed. So question for the panel, would you go to space if it meant peeing your pants for several days straight?
I thought that is what you do when you're an astronaut.
No, they have space toilets where they kind of work with, I'm sorry, this is really gross, everyone. There's some sort of suction principle involved, I believe. It sort of vacuums your
like on the
private part.
Like on the airplane, you press the button. Like, don't sit on the toilet while you flush the airplane toilet.
I didn't know that.
Like, who knows what could happen to you?
Definitely don't flush while you're sitting on the space toilet, but that doesn't matter.
Floating dookies. You don't want those, though. You really don't want a floating dookie around because that's hard to clean up. All that tang.
I feel like I'm one of those people that has no interest in ever going to space. Like when people talk about that as like a fun commercial thing to do, like this is just adding more to that argument. Like, okay, I already was terrified by the idea of this, and now I have to shit myself the whole way. I don't know.
Is this a horrible ride?
No, I think we're all missing something here, which is that there's incredible sponsorship synergy happening right now and no one's jumping on it. Like if you are Depends, this is good news for you. You could the way that Tang made a lot of money in like the 60s by being like the drink that astronauts drank, Depends can be the same thing for like boomers who want to relive that part of their childhood. These are the diapers that the astronauts wear when they go up into outer space.
Wow.
So would you be
when you have to go? Or are you wearing it the whole time?
I don't think you can change them. I think you wear them the whole time, and that's like that's some major rash action.
I can't even.
There.
I can't.
Yeah.
No. If you're wearing them the whole time, like, what's to stop you from going twice? I don't know. It's a no for me on space travel now. This is actually the deciding factor. I was raring to go. So now I'm like, Lindsay, I don't want to go. You convinced me.
Well, okay, so here's something else that will probably never ever come up for any of us. Amazing celebrity news story. Shakira says people were just watching and not doing anything when her bag was stolen by boars. So wild boars are kind of a pest animal in some areas of Europe. I know they're a problem in France. You see signs up places that say, don't be careful, there's wild boars, and they're really terrifying. But apparently they stole Shakira's purse. So what would you do if you saw a famous pop star's purse being stolen by a 300-pound, very violent pig?
Lindsay?
I mean, I don't know the answer to that question, but I just love what I love about this story is just that she is so offended. Like she's like, they did nothing. As if this, like she is their goddess. I mean, she is Shakira, but like, I mean, I don't like she's so hurt and offended by the bystander effect. She can't handle it.
See, here's the thing. Her hips don't lie, but they do make demands.
That's good. That's good.
I was looking for a line to do with a song, and I couldn't think of one fast enough. There you go. But I mean, it's the kind of thing I watch people all the time are bystanders. Like, why didn't the people help? And like people just pull out their cameras and film. Although, please, if someone has the phone video of that boar stealing Shakira's purse, I really would like to see that. Please. I really want to see that. Was it removed from her violently by the boar? Like, was it like, give it back? And like that?
No, I don't think so. I think it just picked it up on its tusk and ran off, if I'm remembering the story correctly, but I could be wrong. But yeah, I think if you're close enough to a wild boar that it can steal your purse out of your hand, it probably will kill you. So I hope I hope Shakira didn't have a near escape with death.
You do one Super Bowl halftime show and then you think you're better than a boar and people coming to like, no.
It's Revenge of the Pigskins.
Hey, there you go. So here's our actually second pig theme story of the day.
Pig theme!
Huge feral hogs invading Canada, building pig loons as they go. Now, I have to confess the story is actually from like this early, like pre-pandemic. It's from like the early winter of 2020. However, the word pigloo was too good to pass up. So I'm sure we all are aware because of the 30 to 50 feral hogs that went viral on the internet a couple years ago. Feral hogs are kind of a problem in North America. They have also become a problem in Canada. People imported wild boars in order to breed them. There was a big fad for the meat, didn't last, so they let the pigs go. Big mistake, because they learned to adapt to the cold climate of Saskatchewan. Also Saskatchewan, I believe, is the star of the story. Yeah, so this part of boars apparently in Quebec, but they build shelters to overwinter, which they're calling pigloos, but they're mostly made out of sticks. So this could be, any of us can suffer what Shakira has suffered and have our very nice purse be stolen by a wild boar in a park, and no one will even care.
Nature's getting more and more dangerous in Canada, huh? I mean, you can't even go for a walk in the forest because you're going to get ticks and Lyme disease. Mm-hmm. Now you're going to get attacked by a wild boar. I mean, nature's fighting back, isn't it? That's what I feel these days. Nature's just fighting back, and these pigs aren't going to take it anymore. And there's like they can really hurt people. Now I'm afraid to go. Another reason not to leave my home.
Well, and Saskatoon wanting to not Saskatoon, Saskatchewan wanting to separate. That's going to be a problem if they have this wild boar outbreak happening there. Who's going to come and help with these wild boars if you separate from the rest of the country? Unless maybe
yes.
Premier Mo is just 3 wild boars in a suit.
Oh, I was not thinking that. Okay, different thought.
What were you thinking?
I was like, we're on the same page. And then you're like, oh.
That's my favorite moment with an improviser. When you're like, you get what I'm going to do? And you're like, yeah, over here. What was your thoughts on the wild boars?
I was thinking, are these like, the Saskatchewan militia? Are they like, they're like horses? Is this like, do they have them with muzzles on and they're riding them? But you know what? No. Them on top of each other in a suit. I like that better.
Oh my God, that is like an anime movie that I've completely watched of the wild boars, of the army of Saskatchewan riding wild boars. I love it.
Yeah.
So
it's called Rough Riders for a reason, right?
This idea of pigs in uniform, I've never heard of this before.
Well, moving on. Doug, the ugly New Zealand potato, could be the world's biggest. They dug up a potato in New Zealand that weighs 17.4 pounds, so almost as much as 2 standard bags of potatoes. It's not very attractive, and they do kind of body shame it in the article, but we can all, that's a lot of poutine you can make with Doug. So thoughts on the world's largest potato? The panel is speechless in the face of Doug, the potato.
Lindsay, what is your thoughts on ugly potatoes?
Well, I'm so glad you asked. I've been waiting to be asked that. My only thought from that article is, why didn't the photographer do a second photo for that poor woman? Like, no, I'm sorry, they didn't even let her smile. I was not focused on the potato. I was focused on the potato handler in the photo. They wouldn't even give her a second shot.
I love that you dubbed her a handler. Like,
I gotta put my photo back on for reference.
Jimmy Fallon, and the potato peas on Jimmy Fallon's hand.
Look at her. She looks upset. I feel like she's saying, just give me 2 seconds. Let me just lift it a little higher. She's given like just give me 1 sec. And then whoever is the well-elected paper did not give her an extra second. But yes, you're right. We should focus on the ugly potato. I felt bad for the woman that just got done dirty by this newspaper.
It also looks like she's standing by a garbage can. So yeah, there's a lot of things wrong with that picture.
I'm putting this back up. I don't know what that is, but you might be right. Listen, come on. She's holding something that's nearly 20 pounds. She's getting some effort into it. Presumably she's a farm worker or a farmer, then she's probably very fit, but
there's something like it's like looking at clouds and finding the shape in the cloud. I do feel like it's like some sort of like large otter that's cuddling up to her. You see the arm? I don't know.
Yeah, it looks sort of like the walrus version of the Thinker.
Yeah, it's very Rodin.
Yeah. I don't think Doug's ugly at all. Doug's a cute potato.
That's right. No body shaming our potato brethren.
All
right, another science story. Rare penis plant blooms for the first time in 25 years, and it's a little hard to see, but this is the penis plant right here. I presume its name comes from the shape, but it also smells like rotting flesh. So,
not personally, but I've definitely, never mind. All of it rings true. I've had encounters where things like that have happened and you just have to run. But a penis, you know what? every city has one of these in their arboretum, and it's like every year someone's penis plant is coming out, and it's like, I'm over it. I've seen the penis. It's great. I haven't smelled it, but that's. But I think it's funny how it always makes a story. Oh, it's been 25 years since it seems been. I've seen it. I've seen every city has one. I'm just saying. We have one at Allen Gardens. It opens up every however many years as well.
I never thought I'd hear the day when Rob Watson was nonplussed by penis, but there we go. That's the
Smelly one.
A
I'm
smelly
nonplussed.
I've done good work with penises that have an odor. Lindsay, what do you have to say about this?
Man, I'm really excited that we get to just celebrate another fabulous cock in whatever form it takes. It's very exciting. This penis plant is
Georgia O'Keeffe did not make a career painting penis plants, okay? And they get to tour the world of museums. So let's when it comes in the human world, yes, we celebrate cock a little bit more than we should. But in the plant world, it's usually about vaginas.
Yes, absolutely. But I don't discriminate. I'm excited. I'm excited. You know, I should come up with a joke for this, but there is no joke. I'm excited to see a giant phallic plant and that everyone's celebrating it the way they should.
Lindsay Mullan is pan for plants. Rob Watson is nonplussed by penis. That is the takeaway. Next story.
There you go. Put it in. Put it on blog
Put it on
tomorrow.
Twitter, everybody.
All right. So, how far would you go to get real estate in the general vicinity of Toronto? People are pretending to be nudists to buy a cheap house near Toronto. So there's a nudist colony somewhere near Toronto. Apparently you can buy property in it, and there's a house that's for sale, $350,000, which does seem like a pretty good deal, but you have to be a nudist to live there. So apparently people are showing up and pretending to be nudists, even though they're not actually nudists, because they just want some real estate. So would you live without pants indefinitely just to get on the property ladder?
I mean, why stop now? I mean, been pantsless already for a year and a half. Not true. See, look, pants. Imagine if I lifted my leg and it was just a bare leg, then I would have proved a lot. I mean, I'm a prudish person. I mean, I won't go to Hanlon's Beach with friends because I'm like, no, I don't want to see my friends naked. I want all of my visualizations to be of people with clothes on. So I don't think I could. No, I couldn't pretend. I couldn't. Is the realtor naked? Is what I want to know.
I think the intersection of people who are realtors and people who are nudists is just a circle. Just from the realtors I know, I think they all.
I want to see that Venn diagram.
I just know one realtor, and he is already the naked circus drummer. So.
Yeah, so he is often quite naked. So you're right. The one realtor you know is also a nudist, so that is a circle. Lindsay, you said you would problem for you.
I mean, yeah, and as we talked earlier, I have like a strip show, so I'm obviously I'm pro nudity. I'm pro everyone. I feel like this. I got a little excited and distracted when I heard that because I went, is this a possibility for me one day as an artist to have a home? Is all I had to do was take off my clothes? Like this, maybe I could do this. I could definitely be one of these people.
We've all dreamed that one day our ability to take off our clothes would afford us a house, but I'm just saying, like there is a Bosom Buddies remake here that's just waiting to happen, but Tom Hanks is already taken. He's doing something on Apple TV, so
right.
He's pretty old. I don't know if I would want to see 70-odd-year-old Tom Hanks naked, but I don't want to be also age negative. So sure, Tom Hanks, give us a call. We'll do your.
I don't know. A nudist house story called Bosom Buddies sounds like it would be with women in it, to be quite honest.
They're nudists, but also have to pretend to be women.
Oh wow!
They also have it's the original concept of
that they put on. What? This is a rabbit hole to go down for sure.
I don't know if you could do that, but it's certainly topical. So.
Okay, next story.
Next story. All right. Moving on because we started late today. All right. Here, maybe this is relevant to you, Rob. Maybe you can find some kind of tie-in like this for your Christmas present. Vienna brothel incentivizes vaccination after losing 50% of its clientele. So you can get a free 30-minute session with the lady of your choice after you get vaccinated. And I really hope the nurse pictured is fully qualified to give injections, because I have to say that in uniform is not what I'm used to, but I'm also not going to judge. So maybe she does an excellent job and is very gentle.
Lindsay?
These are just some absolutely like golden hearted hookers. I am like in love with this. This is beautiful. What
They went to a course on how to give injections just for this story.
just for that but they said they're giving a free session? They're giving a freebie?
Yeah.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
30-minute
Give
freebie
live?
if you get a vaccine.
Like you get like a free beach if you get a vaccine? Like these people deserve medals.
That's how Big Bird got his.
Oh, that's
It was a different Big Bird. It wasn't the same one.
This looks like a good idea. First of all, I know my last comments about being a nudist makes me sound like I'm not pro-sex. I'm completely pro-sex. I just believe that it should be with strangers in a dark room. But
with their clothes on, right?
So this suits me fine, to be honest. This is great. Like I'll go to the strip joint. I'll make sure I'm wearing my sweatpants and give me a lap dance after I get my shot.
Perfect.
I mean,
well,
to be fair, like John Hamm in a suit is sometimes more attractive than John Hamm not in a suit. So I could do a fully clothed sexual session with someone, specifically John Hamm in a suit. That's my
All right.
next story.
well, we love to end on a positive note here on This Is a Talk Show. So our final story is always an upbeat one. And this is that Paul Rudd is people's sexiest man alive. So, I mean, what else is there to say?
I mean, the painting in his attic is screaming right now. Trying to people know it's alive.
Yeah.
I don't know. That looks pretty airbrushed to me. Either he's got the Botox going on, or someone has just a really good. I mean, it's all lighting. It's all this and that, isn't it? Like,
Yeah.
I look a lot better than something's been planned around here. You know.
I agree with you. I feel like that cover is looking a little bit, it's a little oil painting-ish. It almost doesn't look real.
Yeah.
Is his attractiveness because he looks like this, or is his attractiveness because he's Paul Rudd and he has this eternal youthful spirit and humorous charm?
That's a good point. He's that. I mean, I would vote him sexy for that reason, because I think funny people are sexy. So, wow, none of you found that funny at all.
You're just fishing for compliments right now, right?
You need to take lessons from Lindsay. You need to take lessons.
You're pretty. You're pretty.
You're very pretty, Rob.
And so is Paul Rudd, I guess.
Well, I'm sure you'll get there someday on the sexiest man alive on the cover, but for now,
Just put the same amount of Botox as he does, right?
I'm gonna get on it. It's really this is just lighting. If I get up close, you can see the forehead. Oh no, you can't. Oh, there you can.
You got your Zoom touch up
It's
my
not
appearance
very
filter
clear
turned way up.
skin, Rob.
I think I do have my touch-up thing on. Yes. Oh, never mind.
Do you know what it does?
I don't actually. I do not have that on. No.
It lightens your skin. If you ever play around with that filter, it makes your skin noticeably lighter.
Well,
isn't that horrible? I noticed that a little while ago, and I'm like, ugh.
If I do have that filter on, I must look really bad then. Anyhow,
you can't see when that filter's on, Rob, because you just become translucent.
You're a ghost.
Well, people have said that I'm one of the whitest people they know at times, so it makes sense.
Culturally speaking,
wow.
I don't. Rob Watson, Lindsay Mullan, thank you very much for joining us. That was the news.
Hey, thank you for having me.
Before we go, would you like to remind everyone how they can find you and what you've been up to very quickly?
Yeah,
Rob?
sure. Oh, Rob, go.
Oh, really? I mean, I wasn't the first guest, but okay. So I got two shows. Yeah. November 25th and December 8th. You can go to the best way to find it is through my link tree that you can find on Instagram @GayAF Comedy. So just go there and check out. And you know what? follow the Instagram while you're there. It's a lot of fun. I share gay memes almost every day. It's super fun. It's super queer. It's sort of like all of the stuff behind me.
Nice. And Lindsay?
Yes. If you want to come, and find out about my life, maybe you want to follow my boring things, see my odd, desperate thirst traps, you can follow me on Instagram at Lindsomullo, LINDSOMULLO. I do lots of improv shows around town. And of course, Limited Capacity, a podcast on CBC, comes out November 18th. So,
Fantastic. And
Amazing.
next, when we come back next in 2 weeks, our guests are going to be comic book artist Marvin Law is going to be joining us. I'm very excited about that. And we also have joining us from Portland, Oregon, but originally from Australia, and a big touring Fringe person. We have John Bennett coming on the show. He is a hysterical storyteller. We're very excited to have him. And that's in 2 weeks on November 27th. 27th, yay! And Kristin, are you going to sing us out?
I absolutely am going to sing us out, Adam. But before I do, I can remind everyone to buy a coffee for This Is a Talk Show. Thank you, Steph C, for contributing. It just helps us, keep going with this show and keep paying for our Zoom subscriptions and all that shit. But yes, I do have a big treat for you today. So here is another what's it called? Peek behind the curtain. So how I pick a lot of the songs on this show, if they aren't just random things that I like, Adam will ask me, hey, can you do this song? And I will say no, and then I will think about it and I'll say, okay, maybe. And Adam asked me if I would do a Britney Spears song for obvious thematic reasons. And at first I said absolutely not, because this just happened yesterday, and I was like, I've already picked my songs, I can't pull it out of my butt, as it were, but as it turns out, I can. So here is, for your listening pleasure, Britney Spears. Well, as popularized by Britney Spears, she didn't write the song. Toxic. Baby, can't you see I'm calling? A guy like you should wear a warning. It's dangerous, I'm falling. There's no escape, I can't wait. I need a hand, baby, give me a hand. You're dangerous, I'm loving it. Too high, can't calm down. Losing my head, spinning round and round. Do you feel me now? With a taste of your lips, I'm on a ride. You're toxic, I'm slipping under with the taste of a poison paradise. I'm addicted to you, don't you know that you're toxic? And I love what you do, don't you know that you're toxic? It's getting late to give you up. I took a sip from my devil's cup. Slowly it's taking over me. Too high, can't calm down. It's in the air and it's all around. Do you feel it now? With a taste of your lips, I'm on a ride. You're toxic, I'm slipping under with the taste of your poison paradise. I'm addicted to you, don't you know that you're toxic? And I love what you do, don't you know that you're toxic? And I love what you do, don't you know that you're toxic? We will see you in 2 weeks. Goodbye, everyone.